freedoms is not designed for your benefit. It sounds like it's something we all want to fight for. It sounds like we all want to support and defend it. But anytime you actually need to rely on any Section 2 rights, they'll take a Section 1 admission to circumnavigate and get away from giving you. So I say, let's just go right down to, I think it's Section 26 or 28, which says this applies to government employees. So if they want to keep us out of the document, then just keep us away from the document entirely and say, this is a document for employees of the government, not for us as private sovereign citizens. Go back to your Alberta Bill of Rights, go back to your Canadian Bill of Rights, much more powerful document. Actually, I just came in from LA last week, coming back in, flying back into Canada. I was amazed, what a zoo, what a zoo. We are in a tyrannical country, communist country, in terms of coming back in, all the security requirements. They actually expected me to say yes to a computer system instead of talking to a border agent that says, you got any alcohol, tobacco, or firearms? That used to be the way it worked. Now you come back in, and you got to give away all your rights and freedoms. And it literally said, you know, FOIP, Freedom of Information Protection, give away all your FOIP, give away all, talking about terrorism and talking about this and that, the other thing. It's like, well, that's a big conglomeration of assumptions to say that I might be one of these categories, so therefore I'm signing away all my rights. So anyways, I requested a meeting with the border security agents. Normally they tap you and you're not happy about where that meeting goes. I said, I want to talk to you guys. I'm going to be posting that. Actually, I recorded that. I think that's going to be very helpful for anybody who's doing any traveling into the US this summer. And it's going to be posted on my Freedom Network Canada page on Facebook. If you're not familiar with that, you can go to that, and I'll be posting that there shortly. But talking about origins, that's one thing I really, again, appreciate, is we are getting old. Gotta put my glasses on. We're a diverse country. Lots of different people groups, lots of different perspectives, and even as we've heard here today, lots of different religious views as well. Canada's origin actually came at a time in 1867 when back then all the founding fathers were just Christians. So we've got lots of different faiths, lots of different views, lots of different perspectives, but at that time it was just all Christian. And if you want to know where Canada comes from, the first chapter of Genesis in creation, in verse 26, it says, "Then God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion." Wow, let man have dominion. Not government, not a political structure, not a king. Let man have dominion. I think that's a good thing that we ought to go back to. Sovereignty for man. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, including all the creeps in Ottawa. So that's our origin. We are a Christian nation, like it or not. That's how we got founded. And the beautiful thing is Christianity is leads to freedom. It leads to a very diverse culture. So you can come in from any part of the world and bring any political view, as long as you don't want to destroy our nation. Then they ship you off to Ottawa and they'll fast track you there. But you can have any religious view, any political view, and everybody's welcome in Canada. I think maybe to a fault that we're allowing too many people into Canada with too many different perspectives, and that can create detriment. But back to 1981, when two things happened. They gave us that shitty document called the Charter, and effectively trying to take away our Canadian Bill of Rights and Freedoms, which, by the way, still stands. And it's a document that says, if they ever come up with the document, it says this in the Canadian Bill of Rights, by the way, but if they ever come up with a document, I think they were speaking this prophetically, 20 years, what would come 20 years in the future, in the 80s, because Bill of Rights was from the 1960s. If they ever come up with any amendments that try to take away the rights that you have in the Canadian Bill of Rights, that document shall not stand. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms, because of this reason, does not stand. So you can argue it on that point if you ever need to. Sovereignty as a nation, sovereignty as individuals, we need to be recognizing our own sovereign authority to make decisions for ourselves. And anytime a government just tries to step in and step on your rights and freedoms, that's when, it doesn't matter what faith or what politic you have, that's when you need to fight and defend your nation. I was just down in LA last week. I didn't introduce myself properly here. My name is Robert Lipkowski. I'm an apostle of the Lord Jesus Christ. And when I was in LA, I was down there for some healing. We've all been through trauma in the last 3 years. But I got some real healing from a woman who was preaching in a park 2 years ago, 2021. She was preaching to 5 people in a park. Now she's being invited to preach to 3,500 people. This week, just yesterday, it was Melbourne, Australia. Previous week to that, it was Netherlands. Previous week to that, it was South Africa. And hundreds of thousands, her Facebook, her TikTok, her YouTube is all exploding. But she focuses on this area of inner healing, which is what I needed, which is why I flew down to LA. And I got it. Some people reference it as being a deliverance ministry. Some people reference it as being an exorcism. By the way, go see Nefarious. You can only see it at Canyon Meadows Cinema because the rest of Canada wants to censor that. It's a little bit too politically charged. So Canyon Meadows, you can go see that. But that's Nefarious is a brilliant movie that's really showing the face of the globalist elitists. I call them the parasites. They'd like to call themselves elitists. I think a better term is, because really, Paris Accords, that's where this whole thing, they're trying to modify things, taking away our rights and freedoms. So if it's started in Paris, then they should be called the parasites. That's my thought. So the parasites want to take away all your rights and freedoms. The parasites want to kill off maybe 7.5 billion of you. Then we can have the planet at a manageable level to make room for the new religion, the eco-religion, where you will not breathe. You'll eat crickets, right? You'll sit there and you'll. How much time? 5 minutes? 3 minutes? Okay. So come talk to me afterwards. I'll give you a little bit more of a picture of what I'm having to share here. I want to touch on something else here, just because I didn't realize how much time I had here. If anybody wants freedom and sovereignty in the technological realm, come and talk to me. I do have the new Freedom Phone I'm distributing in Canada. The Freedom Phone flies above all the technological barriers and traps, and you don't have to worry about helicopters following me anymore, because I literally can pull this phone out and I don't see any. Pretty amazing. So Freedom Network Canada is where you can connect with me on Facebook. Liberteez, LIBRTEEZ.com is a website that I'm just in progress to establishing something that's part of Freedom Network Canada, which is building the war chest to fight back. This war chest is going to get funded from those brave soldiers who are recognizing the biggest way to fight this war, bar none, is not with your gun. Voting is important, but it's you stop paying frickin' taxes to fund the pedophiles in Ottawa. So we stop paying the pedophiles, problem over. You pull the plug out of the machine, or rather you take the plug that the machine is powered into, you unplug that thing, you don't have a problem with the machine anymore. So if you want to know more about holding on to your money, protecting your sovereign freedoms, or any other freedoms, constitutional freedoms, getting back into Canada freedoms, or just freedom that I found in Jesus Christ through an inner healing process of deliverance that's restored my mind and my heart, and come talk to me. I'm Robert. Thank you.
Thanks, Robert. Beautiful. Okay, we got Ron wants to come up and say a few things. You got it. We got some important things to say.
How's everybody doing today? Now looking around in this crowd should be a lot bigger, but we have one big problem. And now right now on Facebook, Meta, and Instagram, they're doing a little test out there for the next 3 weeks. So only 1 to 5% of you are going to receive information. They're going to be blocking a lot of our stuff. Now we're running out of time with Bill C-11 is already in place. We know that one, and it's working overtime with us. Bill C-18, Facebook. They decided that they're going to go along with the narrative and there'll be no more media on Facebook platforms. So we need to move quicker. Now, my beautiful wife behind me, we have a website. And we're working on that website to have all these large platforms that are streaming out there with all this important information.
What's that?
You gotta find it on our
I think she's
website.
precious.
You can't shut the
She's
website
about the right
down.
size for me
You
because
shut Facebook down,
I'm thinking
you
of getting a
can't shut
dog, but I
everything
don't
else
want
down.
to.
You shut
I'm
the
in a
website
condo
down,
too.
you're
I don't
gonna
want a whole
lose
lot of
it
dogs.
there.
That's about the right size. Is she
That's
full grown or is she in the
all these
process?
large platforms with this information
Full
out
grown
there
or in the
we need.
process?
He
Now,
just turned 6 months old.
same thing with
so
all
that's
these
as big as he'll grow, but he'll
posters
fill
that
out
we
a
put out
bit
with all these events that we're
more.
doing.
Long-haired,
Nobody gets to see them. They're shadow banned. They don't want us putting these groups together.
He doesn't
That's
bark.
one thing that the government fears the most,
I've only heard him bark
is us
once.
coming together.
One bark.
All nations,
One
all
bark.
religions
I had
coming
him in his
together,
playpen
standing
over
as
here.
one in
Oh.
unity.
He whined
And
when
unity
he
is
saw
the
me
most
go too
hardest
far
thing
away
that you
and
can
howl.
possibly
I mean,
do.
he did not howl.
You get close to it, and then they bring people in and tear us apart. But we gotta stop that.
But,
Our children, we're the only group we have left to protect them. Because that woke agenda is coming after our kids really hard. And we need to stop
It's
that,
the right time
protect
of year
our
for you to be on the
children.
road anyways, right?
And that's why I continue to drive around this country, speaking the truth, bringing information to everybody out there. And I know some people, the problem, one of the biggest problems we have is everybody likes to stay silent. Because they're afraid of what their neighbors are going to say or what their coworkers are going to say. We got to stop that. We need to start speaking up and protecting this country and protecting our children and our children's futures. So it is up to us. Like Adrian states, we don't have a leader. If we had a real leader in this country, we would not be in this parking lot today.
That's right.
So we need to rise together in unity. It's the only way we're going to win this battle. We need to put our differences aside, put our egos aside.
Okay.
Or you can also
If you
follow
don't like me, that's
I'm
okay.
pulled up with
But we
friends
need
on
to
here, so
come
you
together to
follow.
fight this
But I won't be able to
tyrannical government to protect our children. And once we do that, then you can go back to hating me again. That's fine. But I'm going to stand up. I stand with Adrian. I stand with Owen. I stand with each and every group out there, but we need to come together in order to win this battle. Our children's futures are at stake. So if we can't come together, there's no sense doing this stuff anymore.
Yeah, I went down to LA, but I came back.
So I don't have too much more to say, guys, except I love each and every one of you guys. Thanks for coming out. Paul's Pizza, they delivered over 100 pizzas to the Cooch Boys when they were out there doing their peaceful protest. So now we have Remax over there on the corner who does not want us to be in this parking lot speaking the truth. So anybody who is here looking to buy a house or sell a house, there's more realtors in this city here. Pick a different one besides Remax. Two can play that game. So other than that, guys, let's put our differences aside. Let's put our egos aside. Let's come together and let's protect this country and our children. And I want to thank Wade for Alberta Liberation for putting this on. This is the second event that I know of right now. So any other event that he's going to put on, he's going to directly send me his poster, and I'm going to plaster it on my pages, and we can get this out there so we can have more of these groups coming together. Like I said, they don't want us coming together, so let's come together and prove them wrong.
Welcome, Ron. Thanks, buddy. Okay, everybody, we're gonna have a little bit of music here. Take a little break, hang out. We're staying till 8 o'clock tonight. If you want to hang around, if you don't, you can. You're welcome to leave. There's a lot of things we all need to discuss amongst ourselves. We're all like-minded individuals, and I would like to work the crowd a little bit. Put this microphone down.
I seen your leader
Yeah,
with your phone when you're
yeah,
gonna
okay. Okay, I want to read you guys this. This is the proclamation that I wrote on change.org/the People's Proclamation. It's in response to the United Nations adopted Declaration of Human Rights. In paragraph 3 it says it's to rebel against tyranny and oppression, that human rights remain the rule of law. So in my response, at the beginning I capitalized without prejudice. It's a legal thing to make sure I don't end up in jail over this. Preamble. Whereas the consciousness of mankind has been outraged at the United Nations agenda to deceive, demoralize, economically enslave, and depopulate. Whereas disregard and contempt for human rights have resulted in simultaneous revolts across the world against the same global aristocracy. The People's Proclamation, organized resistance, taking disobedient action to ensure human rights and treaty rights founded in natural law or supreme law. Furthermore, in the event of a mass compulsory medical procedure or seizure of my property or my person, or economic or environmental threat, I will do my duty as a human being. Give up my security.
Stop it, but I promise I'll find another location with this one going on. Someone has some food. Love you guys.
Bottle and a pistol by my side. The devil's always along for a ride. We ride down to the creek by the water. I've been bad by the preacher's daughter. Lucky for me, I never caught her so. Oh, we ride to the bar by levee, 85 back to the trail by Chevy. In the back when it gets hot and heavy.
Come in, what's the cost of this earphone? You'll get it back on the way out. What's the cost of this? You get it. Not for convincing in a video, it's just kind of building experience that happening in the conversation.
Drive